it's Cara. I'm back with another video for you. Today I am working in my Dina Wakley ledger journal. I already had gesso on these pages, quite a thick coat actually, because I'd done a couple of sketches on the pages and I didn't really like them. So good old gesso to the rescue. I gessoed over those pages so that you couldn't see the sketching that I'd done. Now I've just got a little collection of reds, oranges and yellows, although it's a very deep yellow, very warm yellow. These are Faber-Castell acrylic paints and I'm just smushing them on in patches with my fingers just to create this kind of smushed background really. I do this quite a lot in my backgrounds. I find it sort of gets a lot of colour on the page, and yeah, then when you put stenciling over top, it's kind of, yeah, it ties it together. So now I've got this like latticey stencil, which is just a cheap one from the local pound shop, and I've got the red colour, same as what I used on the background. I'm just applying it in 3 spots across my page with just a cheap makeup sponge. These sponges come in about, I don't know, a pack of 20 or something from the pound shop. And yeah, I'll just use them to apply my paint. Now I've got half of a stencil. I think it's a Paper Artsy one. I will link them below. I've cut them in half because I'm travelling and well, you probably all know anyway, I'm travelling, so I cut things up to fit them in the space that I have. So that was done in the yellow. And now I'm just grabbing out this Paper Artsy stencil by Tracy Scott. And I love this little florally leaf. Easy for some people to say, but not for me apparently. Yeah, I love this little leaf. So I'm just doing that in the darker orange over a few spots on the page. I don't want the stenciling to be sort of in your face drastic stenciling. I just kind of want it to be able to be seen. Now what I'm doing is testing which flower stamp I would like to use. I've just grabbed out, I've got this white paper pad. It's, I think it's Finnabair or something like that, paper. I will, as I said, link it below if you're interested. And then I've grabbed a couple of flowery stamps, not stencils, that I have. And I just wanted to test. I thought I was going to use the one with the hatching on it, but I decided to go with this one, which is actually also a Tracy Scott stamp. Very Tracy Scott page at the moment. So yeah, I'm just stamping out a few of these onto the white paper because I want my elements to be white or black and white onto my coloured page. And then I'm doing the same with some of these leaf shapes. Again, this is a Tracy Scott stencil from Paper Artsy, and also you can see I've actually stamped out a few individual leaves also from a Tracy Scott stamp set. So yeah, very Tracy Scott inspired with the stamps there. But I will link the codes to, I will put the codes below for all the stamp sets that I've used if I know which stamp set they are, because I don't keep my packaging, but try to write them on the back so that I can tell you guys what they are. Here, what I'm doing is just auditioning the pieces, see where I kind of want my flowers to go. I kind of had a little bit of an idea. I've laid them all down. I'm not really happy with the leaves at the moment, so I was playing with them a bit, and then I thought what I'd do is I'd add a little bit more detail to that background. So I've grabbed out my Uniball paint pen in white, and I'm just going around a little bit of that stenciling really, really sketchily, and not all of them, just a few little elements, just to give that background a little bit more something. Then I grabbed one of the leaves that I wasn't going to use, and I coloured it in with my Prismacolour pencil. I wanted to kind of test to see if I wanted to use a little bit of colour on those leaves, or if I did want to keep them black and white. When I'd removed those big leaf stamps that you saw me stamp out first, I decided it looked much better with just those individual stamps. So here I am using some double-sided sticky tape on my flowers just to try and keep them where I've got them, because I quite liked the layout of these. As you can see, I've got a three cluster up the top there and just one to the side. I kind of, it's a little bit of a sort of way I like to do things recently. So yeah, and then what I thought I would do was put a big old quote in the middle of that page. Now I decided that I did like the green colouring in on the leaves, so here I've grabbed out my Prismacolour pencils again and I'm just colouring in those leaves really sketchily. I'm going to go over them with a second colour to blend them as well, but I just wanted all those leaves to have that kind of pop of green, which works really nicely against the yellows, the oranges and the reds of that background. I am going to keep my flowers black and white as originally planned, but I just thought the leaves would look good in green. And here I am with the lighter green, just blending that together a little bit to give it a smoother look and to get the element of, you know, a couple of greens in there to make them blend a bit better. So here I am sort of putting my thoughts on the page and thinking, shall I colour those flowers? Because I'd coloured the leaves, I wondered if the black and white elements were not needed anymore. So I picked up an extra flower, coloured a little bit in, decided I didn't like it and I was sticking to the original plan. Now I've grabbed out a fine liner in black and I'm just outlining really sketchily the lines of the stamps on the leaves and the flowers. And as you can see, that really makes those flowers pop from the page. This is kind of what I wanted when I was thinking about my black and white elements. So I'm really happy that I'd done that and how it come out. And I also did it over the leaves because otherwise they would have got lost within the rest of that page there. So yeah, I'm just going to go around sort of all the lines. As I said, it's really sketchy. You'll see in the close-ups at the end that I'm by no means following those lines perfectly, and I really like the sketchy look. Then I decided to also go in and do the little lines to sort of complete my flowers. So yeah, that's what I did there. And then I believe, oh yeah, this is some spatter. So I'm using a white permanent marker. This is a Staedtler colour. I think it's called Prismacolour or something. But it's just a paint pen. I use black and white. I prime them and then I splatter those on. Now this is me showing you the finished page. However, I did go back and add a quote, which you will see at the end. So this is the close-up for you. And then you'll see my finished page and one with a quote on it, which was how I finished it. So thanks for watching today and I'll see you again soon. Bye.